13 years old. Charlie Mitchell playing Burn.
I gave him a little pep talk before the elimination round started.
And you tell him to target the opponent with Burn.
I said, give him hell.
Oh, there you go.
Those are my only words of advice.
He's been doing that so far, that's for sure. He is the 4th overall seed. Has not lost a match, went 7-0-2 through the Swiss. And we're going to start things off here with a Grim Lavamancer. We'll pass the turn back. Apparently, Charlie's been playing Magic for 4 years.
Okay.
Which means he started at 9. It's a young age to start playing Magic. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but even with that said, being able to top 8 in a legacy tournament when many of the cards commonly played in this room are older than Charlie is very impressive.
Yes, I certainly agree. Going to start by attacking here for 1. Edelstein going to go down to 19. Here's a mountain. This is a suspended Rift Bolt. Going to grab a die that's larger than him. Put it on the Rift Bolt, play another Grim Lavamancer, pass the turn back.
See, when I was his age, I would have been casting all of my stuff before I attacked. So he's ahead of the curve of where I was age 13.
That's true. Josh going to sacrifice that for Catacombs, get a beautiful looking swamp. Go down to 18 to do so. Let's see what he's got to get on his second turn. Yeah, that's, I mean, and Edelstein's obviously had a fantastic tournament. I think the tough thing here in this particular matchup, again, is just no closing speed.
Yeah, and if he had some way to really lock Charlie out of the game, Nether Void is the most common card you see in these lists. That would be something. It's very hard to beat that card, but Josh is trying to play a real grind affair here, and that's hard to do against Burn.
There's a Bayou. And Smallpox has been pulled forward, and that's a good one. So you're going to lose a card, lose a Grim Lavamancer, lose a life, and lose a land.
It's one less damage Charlie's got to deal.
That's true. That's true, Birdman. Now the big question here actually is, Bloodghast is going to get discarded. Is I wonder what land Josh wants to keep. I think that's actually kind of an interesting question, and looks like he's going to lose the Bayou. The reason I ask that, of course, is because of price of progress.
Yeah, he wants to get away from his non-basics as much as he's allowed to. Of course, he has to cast his spells if he needs the green mana. That's one thing, but all other things being equal, get rid of those non-basics.
Mitchell discard a Searing Blaze. And see the hand right here. There's a Lava Spike. There's a Chain Lightning. I believe there's a price of progress, and of course the Lavamancer over there. So do we play spells or do we activate Lavamancer?
He is slightly better served activating the Lavamancer if he's worried about him to Torak. But because there's also Smallpox in the deck, I think I would err on just casting this stuff because you don't know when your land's going to get locked out. But it looks like he's going to pass it back. Again, if he's worried about him to Torak, I like this play a lot more.
Here's Nurborg. In comes Bloodghast. A little ways away from that, having haste. Maybe another Smallpox here? Oof, that's a beating.
Yeah. This is the risk of the play that Charlie chose to make here.
So there will be a Grim Lavamancer activation here.
Although I suppose all this is predicated on Charlie drawing a land somewhere down the line anyway, so this is not really that big of a deal.
He's going to discard his price of progress. Some damage will be dealt here. Players will sacrifice, discard, do all the good stuff that Smallpox does, but I've been given Charlie's player profile here. And of course you can read this. And the age, again, 13, is occupation, middle schooler, question mark.
Awesome. Good answer.
Archetype, mono red burn. Why did you choose to play this deck this weekend? Because it beats fair decks, but loses to combo, and I've never played combo. Also, I want to honor P. Sully.
Wow.
There it is.
That's worth a lot.
Yes, it is. Well, a mountain off the top is pretty nice. That'll allow for a Lava Spike. That'll seem down to 8.
And this is the risk here. Josh has done a great job thus far.
Absolutely.
But can he win the game before Charlie just draws a couple bolts?
I think I'll get a forest there. Let's see if Josh does remember his Bloodghast trigger. Don't want to forget those. And it looks like he did not remember for Bloodghast just yet. Now, of course, that could be a cognizant decision here. Don't want to put that in play and get it Searing Blazed.
That could be a play here. I wouldn't surprise me if Josh's plan here was to fully lock Josh's hand with Liliana the Veil before bothering to deploy that Bloodghast. Because he does have a line of play that allows him to just go to work on Charlie's hand. And then get the Bloodghast back and you start being down. The risk here is that Charlie does have a land in play. So he's drawing pretty live.
Well, chain lightning you, put you down to 4. Yep, it's pretty straightforward and simple.
Some more of that.
Charlie's last card is Scalding Tarn. He's going to put that in play and pass the turn back. So Edelstein's going to take a draw now. And as you mentioned, the one thing that Josh does have in his hand is Liliana, and that can start to go to work.
But it's slow, and
it's very slow.
Charlie unfortunately gets a draw step every turn.
Now there's Bloodghast.
You can also see the way that this game's shaping up, how something like Nether Void could be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that would be very hard, I believe, to beat. We'll discard a Bloodghast. All right, we're turning up the heat.
That's a slow burn, but, you know.
It's a burn nonetheless.
We're getting something going.
Goblin Guide wouldn't be a bad draw right now. Bloodghast can't block after all. Well, just going to put the land into play in Arid Mesa, pass the turn back. The other thing, too, for Edelstein, he has to be careful what lands he plays.
Yep.
Because of Price of Progress. They're going to Dredge Loam. A couple of cards get turned over. There's a Factory, a Cabal Pit, and a Cabal Therapy. Well, those man lands help him close out the game. See if he has any interest in casting Loam this turn. I'm going to start by attacking for 2. Mitchell's going to go down to 16. Here's a Loam. The other thing, too, for Edelstein here is that you don't want to take another point of damage.
No.
Don't crack a fetch land.
4 and 3 are really different things.
Yeah, Cabal Pit, it does, when you play it and tap it, you lose 1. What are the chances right now that Charlie Mitchell knows what Cabal Pit does? It's in a different language. You think he's ever seen it before?
Probably.
Maybe.
He's not asking to read it.
There's a Factory. In comes Bloodghast.
So, Price of Progress, now lethal as well.
Yep. Liliana's going to take up. Discard Nurborg. Of course, Mitchell has nothing to discard. Mitchell will take 1, go down to 15. Going to thin it out a little bit.
Good use of a fetch land here, I think.
Yeah, you want to save 1.
Right.
Of course, because for Searing Blaze.
And 16 to 15 doesn't change the clock at all.
Yeah. Time to draw. Yep, another land. Pass the turn back. Edelstein can really get to work here. This is interesting. I suppose Fire Blast to clean out just to get the game over with right away.
Yeah.
I forgot that was even there. Any Flame Rifts hanging out?
I don't believe so.
No?
No.
Okay.
He has Price of Progress here. Now, Josh can get the Cabal Pit into play. And what that allows him to do is, in the event that Charlie uses Price of Progress, he can Cabal Pit his Mistress Factory and get out from under that.
We call that going deep in the business.
Well, he does want the factory in play. It does increase his clock quite a bit.
Yep.
But there are risks here involving Price of Progress.
Down to 11 goes Mitchell from the Bloodghast, slowly whittling away. What's the follow-up going to be? Just a Loam again. Another Factory down there. You see the idea behind this Loam Pox deck, just grind you down. That's all it takes.
But in the meantime here, Charlie's had to miss a lot of draws.
Yeah. There is the Cabal Pit. Now we will tick up Liliana. Discard her board. Mitchell's going to sacrifice. Maybe. Yep.
Well, he's conscious of Bloodghast. So
Yeah.
definitely aware of what Josh's cards do. That's for sure.
They go down to 10 now. Basically a 2-turn clock here, so it needs to find something that does something. Draw. Price of Progress. Gonna cast Price of Progress. Does he see the Cabal Pit play? No, he does not. That's...
Whoa.
Whoa. Whew. So Charlie Mitchell with the timely top deck.
Dodge
Gonna
one.
win this game, yeah. And the play that you mentioned from Edelstein being able to activate Factory and then pit it, he did not see that. Now, there is actually a chance, depending on how many cards were in Josh's graveyard, because he was loaning cards back, that he may not have had Threshold.
I think he was over 7.
Yeah,
but
it's close, actually. It's close. Awkward handshake aside, Charlie Mitchell going to win game number 1 here over Josh Edelstein, burn up a game over Lone Pox. So we're going to bring it back to the booth. First trivia question of 3 this evening, so we will fire away. You want the rules or the question? It's your call.
I want the rules. We have a pretty good rhythm. You do 3 in 1 year, I do the 6.
Okay.
Why break it up?
Hey, you do you.
He's going to ask you a question here. Tweet it at SCG Live, hashtag SCG Premium. Of the correct responses, one will be selected at random for 3 months of Star City Games premium content. It is about accuracy and not speed, so don't worry about submitting first, just accurately. And please keep in mind this giveaway is run at the sole discretion of StarCityGames.com, and that Twitch TV is in no way affiliated with giveaways on its stream.
This is a really easy question, I guess. Like, if you have the internet, it's pretty easy. We're watching Charlie Mitchell play Magic. He's playing Mono Red. How old is he? And if you know the age of Charlie Mitchell, hashtag the answer, SCG Premium. Make sure you're following SCG Live. We will announce the winner at the conclusion of our quarterfinal round for the age of the youngster.
This is great.
Yeah. It's actually a lot of fun to watch.
The fact that he gave me some love on his player profile here is just...
DAP, is that what they call it?
It's charming, I gotta say. There's a lot of, having the, whatever you want to call it, respect, admiration of a child that's hard to replace, man.
You've done it. You have finally made it.
Happy to retire.
Good. And you're here stuck
This
with
is
me.
my
You're here stuck with me,
This
man.
is my last show. I've accomplished all that I can hope to accomplish in this business.
Time to take a look at the sideboards, my friends. We are going to start with Josh Edelstein's 2 chains of, well, yep.
Mephistopheles, not for this matchup.
Nope.
Although I am sure, even though Charlie seems fairly knowledgeable about Legacy, I'm sure Chains of Mephistopheles will require a revisit. A Pernicious Deed, 3 Crop Rotation, 2 Extra Pate, 2 Golgari Charm, a Nature's Claim, a Cabal Therapy, 2 Duress, and a Caracas. I do like the 2 copies of Duress quite a bit in the matchup. And I would like the Crop Rotations more if there was some way for him to combo out. This is a matchup about speed. So if he had something like, for example, Thespian Sage Startrap that you alluded to, even if he had a Glacial Chasm, I think the Crop Rotations could do a lot of work in this matchup. As it stands, it still may be worth bringing in because his ability to get Mistress Factories, maybe break up Price of Progress, that might be worth slots in the deck. I'm not saying the card's very good, but he has a lot of air in here. So even though Crop Rotation is narrow and situational, it still may be worth bringing in.
I like Nature's Claim in this matchup. Charlie does have Sulfuric Vortex, but also Josh could get creative, activate a Factory, Nature's Claim, it gain 4 life.
Yeah,
Factory is an artifact after all.
Yep.
On Mitchell's side, 3 Vexing Shusher. We saw Brian Kamich use that to great effect in Vegas. 3 Satyr Fire Dancer. Those destroyed Ross Merriam today. 2 Mindbreak Trap, 4 Red Elemental Blast, and 3 Smash the Smithereens. I don't think much is going to change.
I'm presenting the same 60.
Yeah. Yep. I do not think much will change here for Charlie Mitchell. Quick update for you. Dan Jordan doesn't like losing. Up a game, #1 overall seed. Up a game over Eric Smith, the former Invitational champion.
Nature's Claim can also get the Eidolon, too.
Yes, and that's actually very important against Josh's deck. I forgot the Eidolon was even in there. That card's making waves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that card is
Some
good.
noise. I feel bad that I missed on that one as much as I did. I thought it was going to be a really good sideboard card. I did not anticipate it just being an awesome main deck card.
Yeah, it looks like it just looks like straight up just a good main deck card.
Yep.
So Charlie Mitchell from Lexington, Massachusetts, the #4 seed overall, has not lost a match yet this week and playing Burn. And we talked about in Vegas how we felt that Burn was pretty well situated in the Legacy metagame right now because there are a lot of Delver decks and kind of nonsense going around. There's not really a ton of combo or Sneak and Show or Storm, stuff like that anymore. So
In the elimination rounds here, there is 2, the blue-white red Delver decks are close matchups. I would not be thrilled to play against it, but it's fine. The Belcher matchup's a disaster. The rest of this is fine. Shardless, Infect, Deathblade, Pox. I'll play against these decks all day long.
Infect seems kind of scary to me.
If you have Lavamancer, you can usually manage it.
Looks like Josh can't take a mulligan here. I think a skilled Infect player is probably good against Burn.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup, but
Yeah.
you can also kill very quickly. They had to sometimes just play into your stuff because they don't have a lot of time either.
Okay.
As opposed to these Delver decks, which are just kind of hitting you for 3 a turn.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And Josh gonna look at 6 cards here. And 6. Let's see if he can find a better hand this go around. Looks like he's happy enough. We are underway in game number 2. It's a Bayou, and this is an Inquisition of Kozilek. So Mitchell will lay out a hand of Eidolon. There's a Chain Lightning, a Rift Bolt, a Lava Spike, Price of Progress, and 2 mountains.
Some heaters.
Yeah, they all look the same to me. They all look like they deal 3.
Yep.
Sometimes more than that. Josh Sissio up game 1 over JD Near. Charlotte's Bug up a game over Infect. I'm actually kind of curious how that matchup goes. Gotta get the boss on the horn.
I would want to be on the Infect side.
I think I would want to be on the Infect side too. The boss said that he's not afraid of decks that contain Abrupt Decay. Those don't scare him at all.
2 mana is a lot to interact with that deck.
Oh. A Rift Bolt will be suspended. We do have Levi Teets up game 1 over Jesse Parnell. Blue Red Delver up a game over Belcher, unsurprisingly. Here's a Duress. There's the Grip. The card that was added was a Lightning Bolt. Still heaters,
Yeah,
as it were.
nothing's changed.
No. Price of Progress has got to go. That was the card that won the game for Mitchell the first time. It'll be time to just, fire off here in just a moment. Rift Bolt coming off. Edelstein going to go down to 17. I'm out in the draw here for Mitchell. Yep, there's a Spike. There's a Chain. Down to 11 we go.
And you can kind of see how Josh is about 1 card short of having an acceptable matchup here.
It feels that way.
This element of the game, he's fine.
Yep.
I mean, he's attacked Charlie's hand, seen himself a lot of damage here, has a lot of discard effects that aren't Thoughtseize even.
If he had something like Tarmogoyf,
Yeah.
he would be fine. I don't even care what it would be. Just
Yeah.
a 2-mana 3/3.
Right.
Wretched Anurid. Get in there.
Rotting Zombie.
Yeah, that also fine.
Oh, would it be fine?
Yeah. Just some way to close the game out fast.
Or Zoran Orb. Even that would be
That
enough.
one's unbeatable
Yeah.
for you.
Just 1 piece short of the matchup being fine.
There's Bloodgast.
This is good, though.
It's a start, that's for sure. Verdant Catacombs. Okay, Josh has an Abrupt Decay in his hand. Has to leave that in the hedge around Sulfuric Vortex. Looks like a red card was drawn. Not quite sure which one it was. It's a Goblin Guide.
The old Goblin Guide.
That'll work. Bloodgast can't block after all. Here's this. See, we're doing a little bit of math here. This is kind of a strange thing to say, but Charlie may not know that can't block, but okay, he's going to come into the red zone. There's a Cabal Therapy.
Josh's deck here is a labor of love. I mean, this has all been foil Japanese, Guru Land, everything.
It's a beautiful deck. It really is. Mitchell going to play the Mountain, pass the turn back. Last card's a Bolt, so he can fire that off whenever he'd like.
So unless Josh wants to draw useless Cabal Therapy, which he doesn't,
Yeah.
it's going to go to 7 here. That Bolt is 4, and we've been here before.
Speak for yourself. I've never been there. I don't know what it's like to try to draw Fire Blast, so
It's a delight.
I'm sure it's exhilarating.
It is. There's the Legacy deck Maverick, but there's also the experience of flipping the top card of the deck, a la the movie Maverick, and in that respect, burn the real Maverick deck of Legacy.
In for 2 comes Bloody G. It's time for an Inquisition. I have a feeling Charlie may have a response.
Nice.
That is a Lightning Bolt. Pass the turn back. Mitchell will take a draw. In comes the Goblin Guide. Trigger this. Bloodgast on top. Abrupt Decay is going to get that thing off the table. Mitchell's card is a Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn back.
Knows about him and Liliana, so just play that stuff.
Yeah, very reminiscent of what we saw in the last game. 2 mana, Bloodghast, in for 2. Mitchell goes down to 16. Edelstein's just got to fade, you know, a bunch of draws.
Over several turns.
Yep. Hey, nobody said it would be easy. Yep, Goblin Guide. In, trigger, Wasteland to the grip, down to 2.
Wasteland is meaningful for Josh here. It means that Press of Progress is no longer a kill for Charlie. But that Goblin Guide is very good for Charlie, as the difference between 4 and less than 4, very big in this spot.
Yep. There's your Wasteland. Here come your Bloodghast. Mitchell's going to go down to 12. It takes 1 draw. It takes 1 draw, 1 red card. Lava Spike
Hooray!
You. That is going to do it. Charlie Mitchell, the young pyromancer, will defeat Josh Edelstein 2-0. Burn takes down Lone Fox. You can see Josh's friends saying, what can you do? Nothing. The matchup is terrible for him.
Yep, not a lot to be done here.
Yeah.
No way to lock the game up. No way to kill quickly enough. No way to gain life. You know, he actually made some fairly competitive games out of it, all told. He had discard, some Bloodghasts. About some of the better draws his deck can realistically cobble together for the matchup, but that's still just not enough to get it done here.
Yeah, for this matchup, this is really about as good as it's going to get for him, truth be told. Charlie will play the winner of Dan Jordan, Eric Smith, and that's the matchup we're going to be heading to in just a moment. We'll bring you back to the booth here.